coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the middle of the African bush. Look at this, we are live next to a leopard cub playing with the carcass. This is Safari Live. Ready?
Standing by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live.
Yeah. Happy there? Isn't this exciting? My name is Brent, I have them on camera, and we're with Queen Karula, the dominant female leopard, and her wonderful cubs. Now this is 100% live. You are seeing this absolutely fascinating behavior at the exact same time as we are. Remember, hashtag Safari Live or questions at WildEarthTV if you'd like to know more about what's going on. Now all three leopards are here. We're just focusing on young Hosanna, who is playing with his breakfast. Now his little sister has been slowly stalking him for the last 8 minutes or so, and you can just see her. Oh, there we go, there she is. Well, she stopped now, but she was crawling towards him, but I think he spotted her. So I think on a nice cool morning like this, at 17 degrees Celsius, 63, 67? Oh, I think I've got confused. There we go, she's starting to stalk again. We could get some really interesting behavior between these wonderful little cubs. They could be very playful with their full bellies, no pressure, and I'm very happy that they didn't lose this impala kill on the ground overnight to hyenas. Look at that, she's stalking him. She could pounce on him. We could see some great gamemanship from Karula's cubs this morning. That is little Shongile, the exquisitely beautiful one, the female cub, and my, how they've grown. She seems to be indecision about pouncing on her bigger brother now, same age, but of course, as being a male leopard, he's grown quite a bit quicker than she has. We are just incredibly privileged to spend time with these incredible animals. What a way to start. What day is it today?
Thursday.
What a way to start a Thursday morning.
I think so.
I think it's Thursday. And of course, we're not the only people out here. Stef is wandering around on foot. So hopefully between us we're going to provide you with a riveting and exciting drive. Now, Shongile is getting closer and closer. She's just behind that marula tree at the moment. This is the question. There she is. Laying down again, but she has been getting progressively closer and closer towards young Hosanna. Now Patricia's wondering, how long will an impala like this feed the three of them? I can't really see. It looks like a male just from the size, but I can't really see horns the way the carcass is positioned. Can you see horns there? Is it a female or male?
I don't see horns.
Don't see horns. So it'll probably, hopefully, what they'll do is they'll eat a bit more, and Karula will be able to hoist it. There's a marula tree right next to it. Now, believe it or not, I've seen Karula in this very tree feasting on a duiker. That was quite a while ago, though. I think it could have even been before the cubs were born. Oh, there we go. Chungile's coming in. She's up on the move again. Let's see just quickly if she's going to come in. She lies down again, which she has. Well, let's go say a very good morning to Stef on Shank's pony.
Good morning, yes, and it is actually a fantastic morning. You come to us this early in the morning and already we're standing on top of a termite mound. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Stef Winsburg. We got Brian on camera today, back from some well-deserved leave. Now, the reason why I'm standing on a termite mound this early in the morning is because of that guy in the distance over there. That's a Cape buffalo, and he ended up sneaking around us, to be quite honest, and is now standing with our breeze blowing straight onto him, hence that posture that he has. Now, yes, he is coming towards us. Right now, I'm not that concerned, but I am going to be keeping my eye on him. Being downwind of a buffalo, in other words, having your scent blowing onto them, is not a position that you want to be in. And hence we're standing on top of this termite mound. Termite mound gives us a rise up, obviously, off of the ground. And what that gives us is a slight dominance advantage over dangerous animals. You want to be higher up. But it doesn't quite look like this buffalo is going to come towards us. I am now concerned. So we are standing over here. I'm just going to speak loud just so that he knows that we are here. And for those of you worried about what's going to happen now, most likely nothing. Most likely he's just going to walk on by. Let's see what he does. Let's see which direction he takes when he gets to us. He's now probably about 50 yards from us. Everything out here works in terms of respect. You respect them, they respect you. So we're on top of a termite mound. We're not going to go anywhere. We're also not going to get any closer to him. If he chooses to get closer to us, that's his choice. For now, it looks like he's just trying to find a way across this stick patch that he's got in front of him. Our breeze is now blowing straight into his face. Let's see what he chooses to do. Yeah, it looks like he's calm. I mean, he's got a bit of more of an alert posture than he would normally have, but there he chooses to walk away from us. No, still watching us. You can see that sort of head up, shoulders haunched. There's just buffalo tend to look quite lazy at times, but they just get this tenseness about them. He seems to be okay. Now he's busy turning around and watching us. They are funny animals, you know. They've got a very well-earned reputation for being one of the big five. Many people are injured by buffalo, even killed in a year. Generally speaking, in the hunting industries, not really in field guiding circles like we are. But definitely a cause for us being a little bit more alert than usual. So just to reiterate what we're doing, we are standing on top of a termite mound. This is where we are. We're nice and safe up here. You know, we're about as safe as what we can get anywhere. I'm speaking constantly. The reason why I'm speaking constantly is so that that buffalo knows exactly where we are. What we don't want to create is a scenario where that buffalo feels that he's being hunted because he can't see us, he's hearing noises in the bush, and all of a sudden this panic starts to set in. Big old male buffalo that are on their own like this are very capable of coming to sniff you out. They're not scared of anything. They've been hunted since they were young calves by lions, and I think that fear sort of gets, you get so desensitized, or they get so desensitized to fear. They're one of the most difficult animals to intimidate. Elephant are far easier to intimidate than what buffalo are. So of all of them, probably the most difficult to intimidate are buffalo. Let's see what he's doing now. He's just busy standing there. We are now behind a bush, which means that he can't really see us. And so just this constant droning of my voice, keeping my tone nice and even, should de-escalate it. He looks quite comical there with his piece of grass stuck out the side of his mouth. I don't know, I see it in these music videos with a toothpick or a piece of plastic straw nowadays. Looks quite gangster, I suppose. They are the bully boys in the bush, these guys. He's got a nice set of horns, the old male. You can see on top of his boss that sort of, not polished look, but that compressed look is about the best way of describing it. That in the middle of his hair, in the parting, that tells me that this buffalo is fully mature. Deep, wide curves to his horns stretching out past the length of his ears, basically. Or the width of his ears, I should say, not really the length of his ears, the width of his ears. And then wickedly hooked at the top. Not in the best of conditions, I must be honest with you. His pelvic bone is sticking out. But that is not unexpected at this time of the year. Even though we've had a bit of rain, and even though there is a bit of a sheen, a green sheen to the bush at the moment, these guys are going to take a little bit of time to get their condition back. I would probably say until the new year, we're not going to be seeing fat buffalo at all. They've used a lot of their fat reserves and a lot of their muscle reserves over the last couple of months. He's still just busy having this standoff with us. Obviously, the patience of a wild animal is infinite. They have got nowhere to go. They've got nowhere to go. They've got nothing to do except for make sure that they're safe and that at some point he's going to get some water through the day. But you know, we're going to stay here on top of our termite mound, watch him while he watches us until some distance is created. And in the meantime, you're back to Brent with those fantastic little leopard cubs.
Well, young Hosanna is still tucking in to that impala carcass. Little Shongile has decided that stalking's a little bit too much hard work for this morning, and Queen Karula is doing her best impersonation of a rug. So all is well in the Karula household this morning. You can see pantry's full. Cubs at rest. No sign of the marauding hyenas. So all well. Now, a very, very warm welcome to William from a bit of a chilly Djuma this morning. And William would like to know, do I think that the fact that nothing took the kill overnight could be for the reason that there are so many kills around Djuma at the moment? William, I don't think so. I think it's more than likely the fact that our hyena population has left us, very sadly so. But for Karula, of course, that's a positive, not having hyenas all about stealing carcasses all the time. Yeah, what piece of the impala have you got there? Edge of the ribs or the brisket. Now, of course, this kill is on the ground, and that's just because it's a very big kill. Lael in Washington is wondering, what age will the young leopards start hoisting their kills? You probably find they've already made their first kills, I'm quite certain of that. And you'll probably find they have hoisted them already. And it also depends on individual leopards. So it's very difficult to put a blanket rule on anything out in the bush, because every animal can be different. I mean, even if we look at the adults, Karula hoists a lot more than her daughter, Shadow. But I'd say if they've killed a Franklin or something... Oh, Shongila's on the stalk again. Didn't even notice her sneaking in behind there till the last second. There she is. So I'm pretty sure they've probably already hoisted something small, a scrub hare, or even a portion of a kill. Oh, look at that. Little brother, beware. Oh, big brother. Slowly, slowly, slowly. It's incredible watching that incredible patience that is being shown by young Shongile. Has she been distracted by an insect? She's looking at something on the ground. What is down there? Well, it is the joy of youth, distraction. So I'm pretty sure she was going to pounce on her sibling, but then she spotted something else that has severely distracted her. I'll keep an eye on her, see if she makes any more forward movements towards her brother. I'm quite sure he's aware that she's there. And their senses, even at this young age, are incredible. So you can see she's gone flat. Pretty little lady. And remember, if you are grabbing any screenshots, share them with us using the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter, or you can pop them on our Facebook page. On yesterday's sunset safari, we saw a strange looking sunbird. It looked like a white-bellied sunbird, but it had yellow tufts on the edge of its wings. So whatever insect it was has now been either escaped. I didn't see her bite it. Oh, hissing at brother hissing at her. Now look at that. She's already covering up stomach contents. Oh, brother hissed. Oh, he's going back to the serious business of eating. Now, look at this. There we go. Diane's wondering why is there a specific reason that they don't eat together. Well, probably competition would be it, and of course, he's quite a bit bigger than her already. So there might be a little bit of a fight if they ate together. One must remember that leopards, outside of their time with their mothers, are going to be solitary animals. As I said, he is a bit bigger than her, so he might beat her up a little bit if she had to. Oh, look at that. Isn't that just wonderful? Now Patricia's wondering, because his paws are so big, will this determine his body size? Not necessarily. It is a good indicator, but by no means a 100% factual thing. But it probably means he's going to be quite big. And if you look at his potential fathers, both are quite big leopards. I mean, there could even be a leopard that Karula mated with that we don't know. Now he's quite full, so it looks like he's enjoying a bit of gamemanship with that impala. Oh, back to eating now. As we were saying, we saw a very strange sunbird, and it was a white-bellied sunbird that had yellow tufts on the shoulder. And a lot of you, thanks for all the pictures. And indeed, in certain races of white-bellied sunbirds, they do have those yellow tufts. So it was a variation on the white-bellied sunbird, not one I've seen on Djuma before. So that's quite exciting in itself. But we're going to sit here, see what else happens at the wonderful leopards. And while we do that, let's go back across to Stef and see where he's marching about now.
You catch us tiptoeing around in the bush over here. We've got an elephant there. They are about 30 yards or so away from us, and we were escorted off of our termite mound by that buffalo. He just kept on coming closer. We took the chance to create some distance. He came even closer, and at about 5 yards or so we decided that we're going to create the distance. We actually needed to take that responsibility to create that distance, and that's what we've done. But the wind is blowing straight at that buffalo at the moment, and what I'm worried about is him just following us the whole time through scent. So what we've had to do is we've had to circle out around from that buffalo to get away from the way that he's following us, which is by sound and by smell. And that's led us in a big circle back to quarantine, but we bumped into that herd of elephant. Now, buffalo and herds of elephant are at this time of the year what we are mostly what we bump into mostly over here. And so now we have to play this sort of hopscotch game. We are trying to get between the elephant and the buffalo, but we're also trying to get around him in terms of where our scent is blowing. And then we're making for termite mound to termite mound. We've got a termite mound here, and that's what we're going to get onto just so that we can see what's happening. We've reset the board, and now we're busy looking to see how it's playing out with us. We're going to give that buffalo some time to see and to let us sort of see what his decision is. Buffalo are funny things, man. They have these mood swings. He was just walking, chewing the cud on his way to probably the pan, got wind of us, came down the road to look at what we were doing, and now all of a sudden we're in his mind. It's almost like he can't shake us. They're sort of like a dog with a bone or a dog with a blanket that just doesn't want to let go, you know. I'm fairly confident now that we are sort of out of his frame of reference, which is exactly what we needed to do. We needed to get out of where he was smelling us and where our scent was just sort of washing over him. I think it becomes a bit overwhelming for these animals, to be quite honest. You know, and it's days like this that you think to yourself, your imagination starts to run away with you, and you start to realize about all the close shaves that you've had. Now, our class today is a pretty close shave, to be honest. Although we didn't have to shout at him, we didn't have to try and chase him away. We absolutely weren't charged by him. That wasn't a full-on charge by the buffalo. It definitely was. It had a feeling of all those elements that were together and uncomfortable, that tingly feeling. And I suppose once we calm down and once the adrenaline leaves you, it's that you enjoy so much about these walks. It's not only finding something fascinating, but having one of these experiences. You know, it's like coming out of I don't quite know how to put this. I suppose it would be the same as almost having an accident in a car, or jerking awake. You get that same sort of adrenaline rush. That's basically the feeling that I'm feeling at the moment, and I'm sure Brian is as well. Things have become very quiet in this group over the last 2 or 3 minutes. Anyway, it doesn't look like this buffalo is doing anything, to be quite honest. We'll show you the termite mound we came from. We came from a termite mound there in the distance. Not the small one, but the tall one far in the distance, the grey termite mound. And if anything, that buffalo is going to come from that direction. But it seems like we've slipped him by. Doesn't seem like those elephants even knew we were there, which is a good thing. I think for now we can carry on with our walk, which is exactly what we're going to do. Alrighty, so I just want to see you there. Oh no. No, just my imagination. Alright, so now we're going to carry on with our walk. We are going to be going in a different direction to what we intended to go the whole morning. And that's basically what we're going to do. Alright, so we are going to catch up with you in a little bit again. And I just want to say it's been pretty awesome having you with us for that experience. You know, it's quite often, I'd say probably 9 out of every 10 of these encounters you don't see because you're not live with us at the time. So that was quite nice. You see how we do what we do out here. That's the key. But in any case, on that note, we're going to send you back over to Brent and that leopard sighting that you were actually.
He's dragged the carcass around a little bit, and it is indeed a male impala. Now we think it might only have one horn. Oh, excuse me. So the question begs, could this be Nelson? I haven't seen Nelson in a very long time. Sure, oh, excuse me. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to hold off another sneeze. Okay, I think it's gone now. So young Hosanna is still tucking into the remnants of that impala. Looks like a one-horned male. We can't see from here whether it is our dear Lord Nelson. Now, for those of you who don't know who Nelson is, Nelson was a one-eyed, one-horned impala with one ambition. And if it is Nelson, he's failed in his ambition. His ambition was to avoid Queen Karula. And this was the area where we used to see Nelson regularly. So I hope it's not, but it is a strong possibility that it is Nelson. So we haven't seen him in quite some time. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get something to blow my nose so I can speak. Oh dear. I apologise for my sniffing. There's quite a lot of dust in the air at the moment. So they've eaten nearly 50% of that impala, I would say. So most of the hindquarters are just there. The head and neck and forequarters are left. Now Ryan's wondering, how often will a leopard catch an item of prey? Now Ryan, it is all very dependent on what they've caught recently, but the answer to that question is as much as possible. So while they're on a kill like this, they'll probably sit here for a day or two with 3 of them feeding, but an adult leopard by itself probably once every 2 to 3 days. But you must remember they're opportunistic. So this week alone, we saw Karula take down a duiker live. She hoisted it. She went to fetch the cubs. And then on her way back from fetching the cubs, she killed an adult impala. So if there's an opportunity to catch something, she will take it. Now, and that goes the same for all predators. Even the fattest, happiest lion, if it gets the opportunity to catch something else, it will. That's the last of the rump disappearing down young Hosanna's gullet. Greedy guts. His sister is still sleeping behind those bushes there. And you just see her tail there. Look at that. He's really tacking in. I think after this meal he's going to barely be able to move. He's going to have such a big belly. Remember, this is a live African safari, and you can send us questions through to #SafariLive on Twitter, or the email address questions@WildEarthTV. Now, like most predators, leopards will eat as much as possible of their kill. Now, Susie's wondering, do they eat the meat off the legs? They do, Susie. And on smaller kills, they even break open the leg bones to get to the marrow inside. At the moment, he's eating the top part of the impala's back leg. Those are the hips. You can see the bone, or the hole through the bone there. And those are the hips of the impala. Now we can hear only really clearly the Cape turtle dove calling in the background. Oh, and some hardy-die ibis. Now we can't really hear him feeding because he is feeding off the soft meat. He's not sort of gnawing around the bones just yet. There's still lots of good meat left on this carcass. BM, can you remember, was Nelson blind in the left or right eye? I think it was the right eye.
The same with right, his horn, we didn't have a
Horn, so it'd be left if this was Nelson. I can't remember where Nelson was missing his left or right horn. I haven't seen him in some months. So if any of you have got screenshots of Nelson, send it in. Was he blind? Or which side was he missing a horn? And which eye was he blind in? I'd love to hear it. So if you do have any of that, send in the screenshots or have a double check for us. Remember, hashtag Safari Live. Mail questions at WildEarthTV. Okay, well, we're going to sit here a little longer and before we move off to go see what else we can find out here. While we do that, let's go back across to Stef, who's got something that might have even poked Nelson's eye out.
How angry do these thorns look? I mean, that is a plant that's just telling you, don't come close to me. And that is precisely the message that these trees want to portray. This is, of course, an acacia. And what you're looking at is one of the acacia thorns. We're not allowed to call it acacia anymore, by the way. The Australians have stolen that name. We have to call ours something else. I haven't really bothered with the new name. I know it's bad of me, but you know, I'm slightly old-fashioned in that way. I'm reluctant to change a name that I spent years learning. I think is probably about the most apt description. But just look at how enormous these thorns are. They were just immediately apparent lying here on the ground. The branch was obviously stripped by an elephant off of this acacia, this flaky bark acacia that is next to me here. Have a look at this. Now, one of the reasons why they have this flaky bark is because the tree sheds ectoparasites that way. So the tree sheds things like mistletoe and fungus and any insects this way, any insect eggs that may have or may hatch and then have borers in them. So the pieces of bark come off, and that's how the tree basically sheds off ectoparasites. But the message that this tree is trying to purvey is one of don't come close. And it's something that you can see from very far away. I'm going to create some distance now between myself and Brian, and I want to show you what I mean by this. Have a look at how the highlight, that is the thorn, stays pretty visible. Doesn't matter where I go, but you can see that thorn. Now the message that this tree is supposed to be purveying to an animal from far away is don't come close to me. Don't come and eat my leaves. I'm going to poke you in the face. I'm going to poke you in the eye. Now the reason for that message is actually quite fantastic. Acacia trees grow on areas that have been disturbed, or areas that need to basically climb back up a succession. They've been damaged somehow. Generally speaking, the bush is always in a cycle of climax and regression, succession, regression, succession. It's how it retains a balance, and acacia trees are the first step in succession of plant communities going back to climax plant communities. They grow on soils that have been overutilized. Now a very visual cue like this, like these thorns, is sending a message to animals to say, please don't come here. The animals see this, they go, wow, I don't want that, and they walk around these areas. And that gives the soil time to loosen up and to uncompact. And basically, these plants, these pioneer plants as they're called, will then regenerate the soil as they die, and this goes and lies on the ground with all its friends. It'll create compost, which eventually creates humus, which reseeds the soil. And as soon as the soil is stable, it's been aerated, uncompressed, it's got a layer again of composty soil, it's got a layer of humusy soil, then the more climax species of plants start, or the more aggressive species of plants start to come in, and that's called succession. And this is just such a prime example of succession. Nice lesson in the bush here. Just this white, brilliant thorn just going, please don't come close to me. Nice message, hey? All right, we have decided to completely change the direction that we were walking in, mainly because of all those buffalo around and all those elephant as well. And now we're walking, unfortunately, we're walking with our backs still with the wind blowing from us into the bush in front of us, but we're sort of angling diagonally across the wind, and we'll walk across the wind in a second. Excuse me. And that'll give us the ability then to get into a downwind position, or at least a crosswind position, which is the safe sort of way to do these walks. And that's what we're going to be doing. Sorry, we're just picking our way slowly through all these trees and shrubbery. There isn't much in terms of trees over here at the moment. I must be honest, they tend to get in the way when you're walking. They do. All right. Wow. So once a tree, this is a combretum tree, this is a combretum calinum, a variable bush willow. Once a tree's been coppiced by elephant, this is basically what it looks like. This tree wasn't fed upon this year. This tree was probably fed upon in previous winters or previous dry seasons, but just have a look at how it managed to recover from that feeding. So we see lots of fresh signs of elephants feeding on these trees, and I'll probably take you to one that's just next door to this now. But this tree was left alone this year, and it just goes to my argument that these elephants actually know exactly what they're doing. It's not because the elephant haven't walked past this tree. I absolutely believe that they've chosen not to use this tree. They've chosen to let the tree recover, so that they know in 2 or 3 growing seasons from now, they'd be able to utilize this tree again. And I see them do it with 2 species, the variable bush willow and the bloodwood, the round leaf bloodwood. The elephants coppice these trees. I think it's a type of farming. They farm these trees to produce leaves, lots of sticks. It's called coppicing, not one single stem. Gives you lots of leaves, lots of small branches, means lots of bark for them to eat. And so for me, it's just a type of habitat management, I suppose, would be it's not on a conscious level, it's definitely on a subconscious level, but I definitely think that elephants know what they're doing better than we give them credit for, at least anyway. Isn't that fantastic? That's what it looks like after a growing season, at least anyway. Let me go show you what one looks like that has been hammered by an elephant, and you can see what I mean. They hardly ever kill these combretum calinums. They just snap the branches off. They don't kill the tree, they don't ring bark it, and they don't push it over. Here's one that was utilized this year. Looks like it was utilized in the early season. Not even this year. You can see how they've broken off the main stem. And they rummage through these trees. But you can see where the stem broke off, it's now coppicing, and that's what these new branches, new leaves, new branches, hasn't killed this tree at all. I just like it. Looks good. James, you've asked me what is the last tree species to flower in summer. That's a good question there, James. Let me think. What is the last tree species? Most trees here are finished flowering by the time proper summer comes aboard. I mean, all the tambutis have flowered, the marulas have flowered. Jackalberries have not flowered just yet. They've just finished fruiting, in actual fact. So potentially the jackalberry, all the weeping boerbeens are starting to flower. They're all over the place. The bush willows will flower. They'll flower sometime in the next couple of weeks. The apple leaves have started to flower. Tree wisteria, yeah. I'm just busy thinking. It's why I'm sort of staring into the distance over there. I have to actively keep my mouth closed. Apparently, according to Kirsty, when I think, my mouth opens up. So James, no, I think that most trees are finished here by the time full summer comes along, with the last tree being the jackalberry to flower. That's from what I can remember. Alrighty, so we're going to send you back over to Brent and those leopard cubs for one more view.
Hosana has finished feeding. He's gone to see mother darling. So there we go. Just trying to get there. Do you need me to go back a bit more then? Here we go. Getting a clean from Mom. And his little sister is feeling left out and starting to move back towards where Mom is. Oh, here we go, here we go. There's going to be some gamemanship, it looks like. Oh, not quite. Oh yes, there we go. There's the gamemanship. Where are you off to now, mister? You're heading back towards the kill again. Aren't you finished feeding, fatty? Looks like Mom is about to get up and head towards the kill. So she stopped. Hosana's back on the carcass. She got attacked by Shongile. Just move forward a little bit. Shongile is looking quite playful this morning, attacking trees and bushes. What's her next move? Is she going to go after Mom? Karula's laying down again. Or will that little bouncing tail act as a lure for young Shongile? Still interested in her stick at the present moment. And it is definitely not Nelson. As we can now see, it's the two-horned impala. Oh, she's about to pounce. Oh. There we go, onto the tail. Look at that little rotund belly. Oh, attacking the bushes again. I'm just trying to see what she's going to do next. At the moment she's still behind that bush. And I think there's a good chance she might charge at Mom again. I'm going to move forward. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at how incredibly agile these little leopards are. Are you going to leap from above onto your mother now? Paul is wondering whether these cubs are fully weaned. They are already fully weaned, Paul. Very much so. Exclusive meat diet. Oh, look at that. Well, not the best landing. Okay, getting ready to jump on Mom. Oh. Got one paw on the head, keep it under control. Oh, look at that jump. Having the best time. Oh, 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 that's going to be... We can almost see that happening. That branch was a little bit too flexible for those maneuvers, young Shongile. I'm just going to take this opportunity to move forward now so we can probably try get... Oh, is she going to charge again? No, she's attacking the bush so we can get a slightly better view. How's that, Jim? Oh, she's going back to the same branch. And that caused her demise. That time she pulled off the landing. Now what next, young one? You can see Osana's just cuddling the impala. Cuddle, cuddle, cuddle. Sorry about that. We are live in the bush, so we do have technical difficulties from time. But we're now with little Hosana, who's having the best time playing with his breakfast. He's heading towards his mother. Will he get ambushed by his sister en route? Looks like he's going to ambush his sister. Okay. Look at that. Isn't that just too wonderful? Okay. I'm just going to reverse back a little bit for you there. Say when? It is so wonderful when the little leopard cubs are being playful. Nice cool morning, perfect weather for it. And you probably find they are going to settle down shortly. There we go. Back into stalk mode. Oof. Being aggressive with that impala, little Shongile. You've got it. Oh, here we go. Oh! And here comes Mom. Mom is being ambushed. No, I think she might have given... There we go. Now, Tamira thinks that Karula's looking a little slow. Is it age or has she been injured? I don't think she's looking slow at all, to be honest, Tamira. I think she's got a fat belly, lots of impala, and she looks quite healthy to me. Proper siblings. Good takedown, Shongile. Attack that impala again. A swat from Mom. He doesn't want to be left out. It's just amazing. Sometimes it's better to just keep quiet and watch. Round and round the marilla tree. Ooh, ooh. Who's going to make the first move? Who do you think, Fiam? Shongile, I agree. I think Shongile is going to make the first move around the marilla tree. But with those fat bellies, you can see the heavy breathing after that bout of playing. Oh. There we go, game's on again. Okay, well, it looks like the games are calming down now for a second. So while they do, let's go see what Stef's been up to.
Today is just one of those days where we just don't seem to be able to get away from animals or dangerous animals. And this is a very, very, very fresh pile of elephant dung here. So fresh, in fact, that the body heat is still contained in here. This is a way to judge proximity, and this is still warm, not hot, but it's to the touch probably about 30 degrees centigrade. So what would that be? Probably around about 70 or 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It's warm. It's as warm as if you take your fingers and put them into your armpit. It's about as warm as that, and that means that this is close. So it's one of these things we've got to keep ourselves open for. But I would like to announce the arrival of the violet-backed starlings as well. While I've been sitting here listening to you, or waiting for you to come across so I could show you this elephant dung, the violet-backed starlings have called, and I want to see if we can confirm it for you. So let's go and have a look. I doubt that this will be a violet-backed starling that actually lives here. Generally, birds that migrate the furthest arrive first, if that makes sense. So birds that migrate the furthest arrive first, and so I have no doubt that this is just a violet-backed starling that is moving through the area and just happened to stop off here for just a break en route. Brian, there's a hole here, although today I've been falling in every hole rather than Brian. Okay, so he's calling from one of these trees. Now, violet-backed starlings are brilliantly iridescent, and because of their iridescence, it sort of belies or gives away their habits. They love to sit in the tops of trees where the sun can shine off of their feathers and where they look beautiful. And he was calling from here. So when we're looking for birds like this, we always look in the tops of the trees, and I'm hoping that we get to spy one. Definitely confirmed with a call. I'd like to see him so that I can actually confirm him with you. And I'm also scanning around because I don't want to walk into an elephant while we do it. There's obviously one here. Okay, I'm hearing that violet-backed starling now, off to this side. There he is there at the top of the tree. Let's see. No, that's a drongo, sorry. Actually could be a drongo busy mimicking. No, I can hear him still, not in that direction. Sorry Brian, I didn't mean to hijack you there that quickly. Still coming from in front of us here. Now the wind has dropped. This morning the wind was howling when we were walking over here, and it's now dropped to just a gentle breeze, which is quite nice. Still just busy looking at the tops of these trees. And now we've got some this will probably take us some time to do. Have a look at this hole. How are we going there? This hole has definitely got something in it, I feel anyway. It's got some churned up sand in the entrance, and then it has the presence of these botflies, which are, have a look at this. This is one that, yeah, at the tip of my stick. These are these botflies that frequently sit at their burrows to aardvark dens. And the reason why they do that is that their larvae, which they bury in the sand, hatch out, and then the larvae wait for the aardvark to come out of the den, and then they climb onto the skin of the aardvark, and they have these specially curved teeth, and they hook pieces of skin off of the aardvark and then drop off to lie in the sand and then become flies again. And there's another one there, another one of these botflies there, and they almost always frequent the burrows of active aardvark dens, or the burrow entrances at least of active aardvark dens. So I think that there's one inside there now. You'd think that that'd actually be a handy source of food to the bushmen out here, and it would be relatively easy to actually find them. The den of the aardvark will bend, so they put a bend in the den to about here, and here they excavate a chamber, basically, that's probably about this wide. So about this wide, and no escape route. There's no escape route here. So the easy thing to do would just be to dig down from here, and you'd probably get yourself an aardvark. But they've got such powerful claws that they can actually dig almost as fast through the substrate as what we can. So the distance you never catch up to these things. They just sort of dig and dig and dig, and you carry on going, and they can actually make you tired. So tired that the energy expended is not worth catching this animal. It's actually far easier catching things like porcupines, believe it or not. All right. Now, I'm still not. I'm hearing this bird. Hang on, wait. We found him. There he flies off in the distance there. See where he lands? We're actually right next to him, can you believe it? Anyway, it's going to take us a bit of time to go and find him, but nevertheless, time we have, and that's a good thing. So onward we go. It's just such a surreal morning. Now the wind has come up again, as you can see. Have a look at the tops of the trees that are busy blowing in the breeze over here. It's just one of these crazy days. Hey Brian, how are you feeling about today?
Crazy.
All right. While we wait for this plum-coloured starling, or this violet-backed starling, to give us another clue as to where he's flown to, there's a woodpecker, a bearded woodpecker, in this broken-down false marula in front of us here. He's just keeping a beady eye on us. You'll see him hopefully pop his head out the side in a second. He knows we're here. You can see him on the right-hand side there.
He flew.
Did he fly away? This is one of those walks today, I'm afraid. You know what? It's one of those things. Now I'm in the process now of making a lot of stuff. For some reason, every single year that we have out here is a year where you'll learn a new thing. So one year you'll learn butterflies, and the next year you'll learn insects, and the next year you'll learn whatever catches your fancy. This year, so 2016 going into 2017, has been a year where I've liked to work with my hands. I've been trying my hand at making various things, making primitive tools, making or practicing at least techniques, as you've seen on a number of these things, for trapping animals, for making fire. I'm busy at the moment, designing a new drill stick for my hand drill, for making fire for you. And one of the things that I've started to do is make jewelry out of stuff that occurs here in the bush. So I made a few bark bracelets that I've given to the Final Control ladies. I've even woven myself a survival bracelet out of some paracord. So I made that out of some paracord. So what it is basically is, if you need some of this cordage for whatever reason, I mean, like, I can't even imagine towing a car out here would probably be what I'd use it for. Cut off that knot, and then you can unravel this, and you have about 8 feet of cordage, and you can wear it on your hand. You can tie it tight. I wear it on my bag, but you can also add chips of shell into this cordage, and it makes it look quite nice. I was instructed to Kirsty to get her a necklace and some earrings as well. Anyway, on that note, we're going to send you over to Brent and those leopard.
Karula's busy pulling the kill into a bit of a thicket, and as it gets... Oh, what are you seeing, Ben? Ah, the warthogs are coming in here. That's why she's moving it. Now, warthogs can... I've actually, believe it or not, I've seen warthogs. Oh, these ones are not so brave, but big male warthogs, I've actually seen them try chase, especially in a drought, chase leopards off their kills and feed off the kills. So warthog will do that from time to time. I've seen them chase wild dog off a kill. I've seen them chase leopard off a kill, and then take the kill for themselves. So like most members of the pig family, warthogs are omnivores. But these ones, not so brave. It might still be a bit heavy or a bit cumbersome for Karula to hoist. She probably could, but unless there's pressure from something like a hyena or a lion, she's probably not going to. There we are. She's looking up into the tree, thinking, you know, I should really put that up there, but it's quite heavy. No, looks like she's going to go towards the stomach. She might do some covering up job to try mask the smell. There's the stomach. There we go. There we go. Now, we often see lion and leopard doing this, trying to cover the stomach contents of what they've killed. And Tamara is wondering why. Well, it smells and could attract other predators. So by putting a layer of sand over it, the smell doesn't spread through the wind as much. Oh, here we go. Game's on again. Our mom does all the hard work. You're not in the mood. That was quite a good swat. Now, Doug in Connecticut is wondering, do leopard cubs make as much noise as lion cubs while they're playing? Not at all, Doug, as you probably have noticed this morning. And that was just leopards in general make a lot less noise than lions. They rely far more on being silent and camouflaged. Incoming number 2. So you would hear, if this was lion cubs, there'd be a lot more noise. off after sister again. Boom! Sure. They're coming in towards mom again now. Oh no, they've been stopped. Now mom's going towards them. Going to join the game. Let's just move forward a little bit. Oh no, there's a cub here now. So it's difficult to see. Evan's wondering how long the cubs will stay with their mother. Well, a young male can sometimes stay with mom up to 2.5, 3 years. Look, mom's up a tree now. So let's just go forward. I think the cubs are going to go back towards her. Sorry about that, I was just moving quickly. I think she's going to jump out of the tree. Now, Karula is quite playful with her cubs. And we've seen some incredible interaction with her a few weeks ago, but hopefully we're going to see some more this morning. While there's action happening, I think let's enjoy it. So Evan was asking how long the cubs stay with their mother. A male cub, up to sort of 2.5, 3 years. A female cub is normally independent by 18 months. Up, down, around. Almost don't know where to look, there's so much going on. But judging from the behavior now, I think it's going to calm down quite a bit in the next little while. Oh, the warthog's back. Karula spotted it. Just have a look. Now, that warthog is smelling the stomach content, and it keeps coming back to see if it can get a free meal. Well, warthog, you better be careful. You might become a free meal. That's a smallish warthog. There's some bigger warthogs with it. Lauren's wondering why the leopards don't seem interested in hunting the warthog. Well, a warthog is quite a dangerous animal to hunt. They've got very sharp tusks. And Karula is actually looking up into the tree. So, I mean, a group of warthogs might be able to push her off, and because of the drought they might be willing to do so. Now, very different story with a male leopard. Now, those bottom tusks of a warthog, the tushes, are incredibly sharp and can do an incredible amount of damage. Now, this is the second time the warthogs have come in, and this is the closest they've come in so far. Now, they've definitely picked up the scent of the carcass. That's what's bringing them in. They're still looking a bit nervous. Karula would like to know, do warthogs kill any animals themselves or just scavenge? The only thing I've heard of them killing is sort of baby plovers or eating plovers' eggs. They're not really hunting anything. Normally they'll just scavenge. We are coming in closer and closer. I can't. Okay, I'm just checking where the leopard cubs were. And Karula is out of sight for the warthogs at the moment. I'm saying Karula doesn't seem too perturbed yet, but we'll see what happens when they get closer. Now it's probably about 15 to 20 meters between the cubs, the kill, and the closest pig at the moment. Now, unfortunately, I can't start the car, move the car. It might change about what's about to happen. So we're just going to sit here and observe for now. This could be very, very interesting. I've got a feeling these pigs will probably just get a fright when they see the leopards up close, but you never know. And drought can make animals do very interesting things. Shongili's going to go take on a warthog. See, they're not running from a leopard that small. They just got a little fright when they first saw her. Oh, she wants to get a higher view of them. Oh, she fell out of the tree. That was very ungraceful. Okay, the warthog's still not running away completely. Karula not really taking any notice of what's going on. He's just snoozing behind the stump. There's the carcass with Hosana. There's Shongile after her. And there's the warthog. It looks like the warthog's going to move off now. Or one is. Let's see what the other does. Chris is wondering, do leopards kill for fun or only when they're hungry? So it's a bit of a difficult question. I don't think any wild animal kills for fun, no matter what we think. Instinct takes over. So that there's stories of a leopard getting into a chicken coop, killing all the chickens. That's because instinct says it must kill what moves. So, and if they are able to move those carcasses into an area where they can feed, then they will feed on that over time. But I don't think it's for fun, it's instinct that takes over.